Tonight I'm in quarantine with the lead guitarist from the Dust Coda. It's Adam Mackey. How are you, Adam?
I'm very well. Yourself? Thank you very much for having me. How are you doing?
You're very welcome. Yes, I'm fine, thanks. So whereabouts are you?
You are speaking to me in my humble place in Peckham, so southeast London.
And what tier are you in?
Oh, we'll be two, very much two. What about yourself?
Well, we're in tier 3. It seems like we have been for an eternity now. So
right.
lots of fun up here in sunny Manchester at the moment. Yeah. Anyhow, let's start talking about you. I have to know, where does the name Dust Coda come from? Because I've always wondered that.
Oh, you know, first of all, we haven't really got this down to a nice bite-sized, quick answer. So I'm going to try this quickly.
Do your best.
Very quickly, because we came up with a name about 8-9 years ago now. That's how the brand. So Dust resonates with kind of biker dust, Route 66, that kind of old school kind of biker bar rock and roll affiliation. And Coda, believe it or not, is from musical transcript, and it's the end of a repeat passage of music. So you have a coda symbol, which translation means completion. So if you put the two together, we're saying that we're taking rock and roll, we're still repeating it and taking it down the road and taking it on its journey with our own twist on it, basically.
That's a very lovely description. I like that very much. And of course, a band with a the at the start is always a winner. So
yeah, no one uses the though. No one uses it, but we'll live with that.
Now, you've been busy during lockdown. Very, 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 very busy. So you released a 4-track acoustic EP, which is called Early Days, Raw and Unplugged. So let's start with that. Tell us a bit about the songs on it.
So that was, it was during the summer we released it. We were kind of banging our heads together as a band. And what we actually had was we were sitting on these recordings, these rough demos that we made years ago. And we polished them off, listened to them, played them to management. And we were like, these are great. Like, we really captured something when we did these. And if we tried to recreate them, they probably wouldn't be as good. So let's just, fling them out there in a bid to give people some nice new music, a form of escape, but also, if it wasn't for the circumstances of COVID and all that jazz, we probably wouldn't have. So I think it's, a good example of something that came out of it. So it was quite nice to explore that.
Now, you said that you came up with the name and you wrote the songs many years ago, but you've only been going for 5 years. So what were you doing sort of in those years before the band formed?
Me and John hanging out in bedrooms, drinking Red Stripe, writing songs, basically, before we actually before we did band stuff. I'd say the hardest thing on this journey has been finding the right bandmates, without doubt, because you've got to, you've all got to gel, you've got to really be into it, because, living in London, there's no shortage of musicians, but you've got to find the ones that believe in your vision, your dream, like the music, and you get on with and all that stuff. So if we'd got that right quicker, I'm pretty confident that what we're doing now would have come sooner. But would I have changed any of it? Absolutely not, because the lineup, the band, everything we're about now is fantastic. I wouldn't change.
And it's all a learning curve and a process, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You can't miss out that step. That's all part of the journey.
Oh, completely. We wouldn't be a rock band if we hadn't done that. We're not a manufactured pop band. We're not put together because of some production or management company in the background. It started off with me and John, like I was saying, swigging beers with our guitars and bashing out some songs, basically.
Yeah. Now, you also made another big announcement recently in that you've signed to Earache Records. So first of all, congratulations on that. Tell us about how signing to Earache is going to influence the material you're writing and the way you do things as a band.
So there's two ways to answer that. So interestingly, we made our second album last year, so pre-COVID, and we did that independently, like we did our first album. We wrote a bunch of songs. We worked with Clint Murphy, again, the producer, who's absolutely awesome. Did the whole process, and we came out of an album, and we had the mixes, I think, about about September last year.
Mm.
So Earache, when we started talking to them, because we did another compilation project, New Wave of Rock and Roll album, which is awesome, and that's how we met them. So they've essentially they've signed the second album, so it was already done. So the second half to your question about how that's going to influence songwriting and all that stuff is yet to be discovered, to be honest. But certainly what we're learning now with having a bigger team is the positive impact of having fresh eyes, fresh ears on stuff. Because, we're used to doing everything our own decision making, but now we've got, a wider team with different backgrounds and experience and expertise to contribute. And, that in itself would be an exciting next step, really.
So the new album's called Mojo Skyline. It's actually due out on the 26th of March next year. So it's been delayed a little bit. You said it was ready sort of in September time, but you've put the release back to next year.
Well, no, we made it and then we signed a record deal earlier this year.
Right.
So then we agreed. So we never had a launch date originally, basically. We basically wanted to, rather than the first album we did independently, self-release, we got good traction. We were really positive and upbeat about the progress we made. And then we were like, we need to do this second album justice. So we want to, we've got management, let's go to market. Let's see if anyone's interested. And, the match made in heaven, that is with us and Earache, was perfect. And then we agreed, a launch schedule, basically. And yes, it's out in March, and you can pre-order it now. And we're just on our first single, so it's up and swinging. It's going.
It is. Well, let's talk about that first single. So it's called Limbo Man. So it's taken from the new album. It's accompanied by a very impressive video that we're going to talk about as well. How does the name Limbo Man sort of come about? What does it mean?
Limbo Man. So John penned this one more. And essentially, I think it's about a period in one's life when you're kind of drifting from place to place, albeit geographically, but also where you are potentially emotionally or your soul is with different relationships, and you keep going from one to the other, and they don't quite match up to one's expectations. And so after a while, you just have to keep your head above water and look after yourself more than other people look after you. And you kind of not so much stick it to the man, because the man isn't the point here. It's what life throws at you. And so, as a limbo man, you just end up being a bit more robust, and, you've got to look after yourself more, which kind of then resonates in why the track's quite, it's quite aggressive for us. It's quite heavy and a bit upbeat.
Yeah. So is this a new sort of direction you're going in? Something a little bit heavier?
No, which is kind of leads on to the album. I would say it's kind of one of the heavier ones off the album. But what I love about the album is it's genuinely got something for everyone. All the rock fans out there will get a slice of what they like. It's like if you go to a really good international buffet on holiday, but it's like a rock music buffet.
Yeah,
there's something for absolutely everyone, and you won't want to leave until you've tried everything.
I see. Yeah, well, very good analogy. I like that. Now, the video. I mean, the song itself, from your description, it sounds quite deep and philosophical. I wouldn't have guessed that from the video, because you're having too much fun in there, riding fast cars around what looks like the Top Gear track.
Yeah, so, it was.
Yeah, and you're in classic Ford Mustangs. You were driving them yourselves, were you, in the video?
Yes. Yeah, we were.
So I mean, what's that all about? Like I say, you're having a great time in there, and it just looks like it's all about speed and getting fast from one place to another. So really quite the opposite of what I would imagine a video about Limbo Man being about. So talk us through the video.
That's a great point. This kind of backs up one of the answers I gave just now about having the label on board and a new team with fresh eyes and ideas. So essentially,
you just fancy a day out at the track. Was that it? You
no.
These cars around fast, and let's just film a video while we're at it.
Yeah, the honest truth is Digby, the label owner, he kind of singled this song out from the beginning. He was like, I love this. It's, you know, it's in your face. It's high octane. It's rock and roll. And he was like, right, we're going to do a video and I want you driving fast cars. And that was it. And then we planned it and we did it. So in terms of, you know, association to the lyrics or any narrative around the song meaning, out the window, it was like, right, you're rock bands, you're playing a banging heavy tune, quite tempo. You're gonna be in Mustangs. Yeah.
Or not. Right.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So what's next for you next year? Are you going to be releasing any more of the songs from the album before the actual launch?
Definitely. So as you mentioned, so March the 26th is launch date. So I imagine we'll definitely do a couple more singles from the album in the build-up, which we're kind of excited about, especially from the early reaction we've gained from Limbo Man. To your point earlier, you know, they'll probably be quite different, but in a great way, because they're more about what this album's about and what it's got to offer. And then, like everyone, hopefully, you know, depending on what happens, will be able to announce some kind of tour schedule as, you know, as soon as possible, essentially. There's a few fingers in other pies, which I can't quite say right now, but you know, we've definitely got a lot going on in the background, and it's a great time for us as a band, and we're all very excited.
Can you give us any clues or hints without giving it away, so we can have a little guess as to what you might have, what kind of pies you've got fingers in? Because I do like pies.
You do like pies. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of a cryptic pie now, without giving it away. There is. Oh, actually, no. You're quite well affiliated with them. There is a very, and I don't want us to be an expose actually, because they'll be quite annoyed. We only talked the other day. There'll be some kind of online festival with a very genre-specific online forum. Who we're very very well associated with and good friends with. But,
yes, so we're talking about a fifth festival of this particular.
That could be the number. Who knows?
Could be the number.
Could be.
Well, that's very interesting. Well, in that case, I might be talking to you again.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Anyhow,
I wish you all the very, very best with the new album. Look forward to seeing you. I've not seen you live at all, so I'm hoping that will happen as soon as the venues are open and we're all allowed to hug and go to gigs and do things that we love doing. I'm hoping to see you then.
No, absolutely.
In a Mustang. Don't disappoint me.
In a Mustang, yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get to keep them, unfortunately, but that would be nice.
Well, all the very best. Say hi to the other guys to me, and I'll see you soon. Take care.
Well, thank you very much. Speak soon. Cheers, Anne. Bye-bye.